Yes, it is a pleasure to be here tonight. Thank everyone who is on the call with me. I want to share with you specifically energy that surrounds the planet. So, you know how you wake up one morning and you just say to yourself, wow, why did I wake up on the wrong side of the bed? How did this happen? How does that happen? Well, that's what I want to share with you today. Universal Messages Reloaded is all about tapping into the energy, tapping into the feeling of what makes us feel the way we do emotionally, and then putting it to a time frame of what is also going on in the universe, what is going on in the planet, how people are projecting their emotions towards either us or we're projecting our emotions on to others. This is just a study that I personally take as a spiritual alignment to why and how I move in the way that I move for my own betterment, how to better my better version, become a better version. That's what I do. So I know I have 10 minutes, so I'm going to get right to the topic. So greetings and thank you for joining us here at Universal Messages Reloaded. And I'm Dr. Dorina Shine, and I welcome you today. So today we're talking about the energy of the Libra new moon. And it is the astrology time frame we're speaking of is 28 degrees 21 minutes. All that represents is how astrologers define within their research the specific angle of a person's vibrational practice within the energy of things surrounding them. So it's kind of like the final hour of 6 p.m. is dinner time, or the final hour of 6 p.m. is whatever happens at that time in your life. On a day-to-day basis, on a regular basis, or on just an aligning basis, a basis that happens every maybe October 21st. So October 21st is going to reflect a specific energy that plays a role in our energy. Okay? That energy plays a role with us. So in this time frame, we're looking at the zodiac sign and celestial body of the knowledge of self, the shadow self. Now remember, we're still vibing in the Aries full moon energy, which is all about the mindset. Now we're moving from that mindset to the body, to the actions, to the purposeful practices of why we do what we do, how we become mentally challenged as we are. And this new moon Libra energy is going to represent that. Relationships, the balance in those relationships, and how respectful those relationships are. The harmony between the two, the persons in need and the persons who desires. Partnerships is going to be a good time to start to look at these new beginnings to help us to relate to and within our shadow selves. So we remember that the knowledge of self is vital to understand our growth. Many people have a hard time looking themselves in the mirror because of the things that they do in the dark. Okay? And it's where you find yourself in the shadow vibration that makes you either grow or stagnate. So only you know. So the shadow self reminds us why we choose to do the things that we do. And letting go of some of those things that no longer serve us is one of the best things we can do for ourselves. It gives us an opportunity to reflect, set our value, and create a change if necessary. Planting seeds for the future, if that's what you choose to do, is very important. And you can practice that at this time. So pay attention to your inner growth. And the amplified themes that are showing up right now reminds us how, if we leave a garden unattended, growth can overtake it. So don't allow your garden to be overtaken by weeds. Too much growth can negatively impact just as well as stagnate your garden. There is no competition here. This is between the inner self and the awareness of who you are trying to become. So there is no outside competition here. You can deal with your life growth, acceptance, and success, powerful movement, initiation, reflections in the new versions of who you are trying to become. And this new moon energy in Libra is going to help you do that. It's going to quiet the energy. It's going to help you look at emotional renewal. It's going to give you an inner connected activity, inviting us to just chill, reflect, address some of the concerns that may arise during this time. Try not quitting on things that get hard at this time, because sometimes the mind can tell you that this is not important at this time, and then it'll be a piece of the puzzle you will eventually need at the end. And then you're like, dang, now I got to go back and do that because I didn't take initiative to do it then. So if you're working on something, if you're choosing not to work on something, don't force it at this time. Let it go if that's what you choose to intend, because the mind is already telling you what you should already do, and it will align. Just as well as if you quit during a time that you should be working on it and eventually will need it down the line, it is the same thing if you force it. You will say to yourself, I wasted so much of my time, I didn't even need it. Okay, so be very mindful of that. Continue to do you. October 21st, around that time, in 21 minutes and 28 degrees of the new Beaver moon, is a perfect time to create a more stable and comfortable home environment. It's just like looking at the beavers during this time. They're getting ready to prepare their nuts, their berries for the winter, because it's hibernation time. It's healing time. It's time to reflect. And it's amazing how if we look at the animal kingdom, we will find everything we need to encourage us spiritually, to give us that physical fairness and a positive relationship on either a professional or friendly basis. So Libra is the ruler of the scales. And now is the time to seek balance in all the areas during this time, all areas in life, and foster a mutual understanding and provide self-love. And you're going to find that beauty within you to prioritize the God or goddess self and focus on the feminine and masculine attributes of who you are. So these 5 pieces of shadow work that needs to be done at any time. You can pick it up at any time. But me, I normally vibe off of the energy that resonates with my thought process, and I look at it through an astrological perspective. Just as an example, I'm not an astrologer. It's just an example of how I vibe on my energy. So the 5 pieces that I want to talk about within the shadow work of what I'm going to be doing from now until October 21st is going to include setting intentions. I am going to look at what I need to do for my future in order to set the intentions for the goals in which I want to achieve for my life. And then I'm going to nurture myself. I'm going to constantly give myself the constant successful thinking areas of talk and vibe that is going to help me to become a better version of who I am. And then I'm going to hold on to my inner balance. There's going to be certain things that are going to be internally ingested by me. I am going to internally ingest the good. I am going to let go of things no longer serving me. And when you learn to let things go, it becomes a practice, and then it will be a practicing mindful strategy that you will use on purpose. So those are the pieces of information that I want to share with you for this Libra new moon energy. With new moons come new ideas. So please join us for the full moon November 5th in the sign of Taurus at 13 degrees 22 minutes. And we're going to talk about that placement. Also, it's going to be a supermoon, the closest supermoon of the year. And a supermoon will be at its point where it's going to make its biggest and brightest impact. It's going to be a magnetic attraction. And it's a phenomena that helps with spiritual events and esoteric ancient wisdom, things that people have practiced over the years, what has worked, what hasn't. And also, it's going to be known as what the farmers call the Parisian moon, the Parisian moon. And we really appreciate this time that you have allowed us on your podcast. And this has been a great opportunity. And you can join us over at Dr. Dorina Shine, DORINA SHINE, on all social media platforms where you'll find these informative videos of emotional healing, universal leadership, and business development. And that's where you can find us, and we will see you next time.